Hey y'all.
Howdy,
Howdy. I'm Danielle.
my air salute.
Basically, we wanted to start doing like video sessions of our discussions that we be having on like different topics that consist of the world and how we view it and what our opinions
Relationships,
are. Yep.
everything. Government, education system, economics, everything. Media,
History,
history. We talk about all of it. And
majority of the time, is based off of, what we believe we've come from. I'm super light, but I consider myself as a black woman, so our history is like primary key, right?
right, yeah, knowledge. That's what it's all about. Knowledge. It's eternal search for knowledge. And me and my queen on that quest together. So we're just trying to share this experience with the world. And I give a little background on me. I came to a point where I just thought that everything that I learned and I was taught was wrong. So I didn't have any proof to back that up. I didn't have anything, a foundation. So I would go around and, be challenging things, but nothing to back me up. That's what made me start reading and getting into myself and my history and other things more.
My background with this whole situation is, of course, me being married to my husband and him going through a transition that he's going through. I continuously saw, on a day to day basis, like what he was researching. If it wasn't for videos or books that he had in the house, it was like okay. And then like if we're speaking, of course, it's like stuff that comes up and it's like oh, it makes you think like really, of course, a lot of the stuff that he researches is very interesting, and then it throws you back. At the beginning, I was like really not against it, but I was for learning my African American history, but as far as like everything else, I'm like, you just doing too much. But eventually, it came around like where I understood like some of the things that he was saying, it made sense. That's the way that the system is in this world, like even as living. And that's basically my background of like even becoming like a part of like discussing and having these sessions with my husband.
Hmm.
Not because I feel that, oh, what he says goes and, is
It's more,
more.
it's a respect. And also, it's about, it's spiritual. The thing is, like she said, it was a point in time where I think all of us have that in us where we're taught a certain way. So whenever someone brings something new to us, there's always that question mark. And a lot of times we have a bias and we don't take the time to research it for ourselves. So what we do is we look at that person as the like we were taught to stray away from those kind of people who are independent thinkers. So I think that's where I was at a certain point. I can't speak for everybody, but hopefully, if you're watching this, you're either conscious or coming into some type of consciousness. And I myself would like to help people do that as well as my queen. So
So the first topic that we wanted to discuss was
relationships.
relationships. This is going to be our first video, and like
Mm-hmm.
every time we do a video, it's going to be a different topic. It
Mm-hmm.
might lead into like other topics, but it's going to be based off of specifically an overall topic of relationships. And we can begin.
Okay, so relationships. When you think about relationships, we think about the person that you're with. There are a lot of different types of relationships. You have a mother son relationship, a mother daughter relationship, a father daughter relationship, a father son relationship. You have relationships with coworkers. You have a relationship with the man at the gas station that you go to every day to get your gas, and he tells you about the lottery. We have different relationships, and basically a relationship, uh, in my definition, is when you are relating to someone. You take time out, and you have a, I don't want to say a bond, but you have almost, it's our nature to have relationships with each other. That's what we're here for, to get along with each other. We are one. So that's my definition of relationship.
And I can piggyback off of what he's saying. Like the whole relationship is everyone who you come into encounter with. So when you have a relationship with somebody, specifically, I was looking at when you have a relationship, I'm thinking of me and my husband, rather than like you have a relationship with your friends, your close friends, your acquaintances, people you went to school with, and like he said, people you work with. And I think it's more about who you're relating to. Sometimes it's not even a relationship. I think it's just like an acquaintance.
Mm-hmm.
Like somebody who you work with, you don't get along with, but they're there.
That's
You
the
see them every
relationship.
day.
Your
That's your.
relationship with them is you don't get along with them. So that's the relationship. And the cool part about relationships are okay. When it comes to sisters and brothers, I don't like to say black, uh, Negro, nigga. I don't like to say any of that. I myself say sun kissed. My people are sun kissed, blessed by the sun, with that melanin. So when it comes to the relationship between brothers and sisters, we have a tendency to point fingers. A lot of black men say that a lot of black women are harsh, they're hardened, and we don't take time out to figure out why they're harsh and they're hardened. And a lot of, I'm sorry,
Can I stop?
yeah,
No. A lot of the times that's the portrayal of
mm-hmm,
what black women are
mm-hmm,
when it's not the case. Like, they might come off as very defensive and very strong headed about, what they have. Because I am one of them women who gets, you can vouch
mm-hmm,
for it. I'm one of them women who goes out there and I'm like hard headed and I don't take any mess. Like if it comes down to what I believe in, it's like that's what it is. But that's not every black woman that's out there that is being portrayed as that way. But I don't think it's a negative thing. Is you have to be a king or a strong man to be able to handle somebody and
very
know
true.
that that woman has struggled as long as not as long, but also me being a woman and strong. I have to understand that the man that I'm with is a strong man as well, and he's not the king or whatever.
And then um, when it when it comes to sisters, and the image that they paint or they're taught, you know, about brothers is that we're just dogs. All we want to do is have sex, and we leave, and we're on to the next woman or whatever we call them. But the truth of the matter is, we all need each other, and when we're talking about relationships, it's in our nature for a man and a woman to relate to each other. We stray so far away from that we make so many excuses and search for external things to compensate for the lack of knowing what our nature is. It's the yin and the yang. Without her and myself coming together, having sex, sacred energy exchange. Without that energy exchange, there would be no Markel. And he's not here right now. If he was, he would be all in this video, all in it, whatever. But he's not here right now. That's our prince. I would like to say I'm the sun, she's the moon, he's the star. That's how we.
And another thing, like a lot of people might interpret, like when I first started hearing, like him using that I'm a queen, he's a king. A lot of people put a king over a queen.
Mm-hmm.
When I think in our relationship, it's equal.
It's equal.
Like it has nothing to do with levels.
Nope.
And of course, he goes out and he researches. He knows a lot more stuff than I would even, because I have not researched that. I'm educated as far as like school wise, but that's in the system that we, grew up in. And I felt that in order for me to become successful, that this is something that I needed to do. Rather than he's somebody who's put in time and, all the hard work and learning on his own rather than paying all of the thousands of dollars that goes into
And that
getting that
education,
education.
we gonna get on that topic, miseducation.
Yes.
We will get on that because we damn well know that you do not need all of that schooling. All you need is your what do they call it? Your
experience.
no, your major. What your majoring in?
Oh, finance.
I mean your major. Whatever.
Oh, right.
That's all you need is your major. All of those prerequisites, all that. No,
it has nothing to do with
just,
it, especially when you don't know what it is.
Bills, but anyway,
I understand like the whole concepts of like when you go to school and you have your specific classes that you're majoring in, those help you throughout your career. But sign all of that undergrad stuff is just to bring in more money to the system. But let's go back to the relationships because that's like a whole hour of
that's a whole nother
opinions. And again, this isn't like something that we're saying that is true or you have to.
Opinions,
these are
our interpretations, our life experiences, and how we feel about it. You're more than able to think for yourself, or whatever, and come up with your own conclusion.
But back to relationships. So
okay.
I feel like that I was left off. I left off at king, queen, and then the prince, and everybody looks at today's society as the king being he's the ruler of the of the house. When I think in our relationship, if you agree, which I'm sure he does agree, but we are equally.
Yeah, we are. We are. Honestly, a lot. I always tell her when I was younger, when me and her met, she was 17 and
Yep.
I was
I was in
18.
high school. Yep.
Right, and I was 1 year out, and I met her, and she was sweet, kind and caring, and like
Naive.
yeah, but she was sweet, kind and caring, and me, I was a little like right now I'm a vegetarian. I don't eat meat. I don't
I
drink
still eat
liquor.
meat. It's
She
kind of
does.
hard.
I don't drink liquor. She does sometimes socially. Sometimes I don't smoke. Neither one of us smoke. But when I was younger, I did, and a lot of things that I did, she accepted. So I felt like when I came into myself, being conscious, she was like she said reluctant to listen sometimes. But at the same time, that was the same way I was when she was there, and I was drinking and smoking and acting a fool. So
Not saying that I wasn't doing it, but he was doing it a lot
yeah,
more
a lot more
when
when
he
you were
was
younger.
younger. Yeah.
So that's what I'm saying about that. I didn't even know back then that she was grooming me to become the man I am now. I just thought maybe she, it's like my mother's back. Oh no, or whatever. But that wasn't the
You say,
case.
don't you say, what is the saying that
A
usually a
man marries
man
his mother.
marries his
And
mother?
truth
Yeah.
be told, anybody would tell you this woman is just like my mother. My mother would tell you, and that's a beautiful person, and she's a beautiful, gorgeous person. So what I'm saying is basically, I didn't know that she was grooming me to be the man that I am now. And it's funny because I never really worried about her coming around or not anything like that. I feel like everybody has their path, and when it comes to a relationship, that's how we relate. When she wasn't trying to hear any of that, it was like
It
okay,
was times like
we
we
had our
had
like whoa,
arguments.
like okay,
Yeah.
here we go. But we learned how to live with each other, and then it became like okay, she would ask a couple questions, and I would ask her questions because, like she said, she's in the corporate world, so I would read something, and I would come to her and say, hey, babe, what do you think about this? Does this work like this? What you have? And she would say yay or nay, like either way, and I learned from her. So it's pretty cool, you know. It's dope.
Yeah. So as far as like relationships, that's basically like what it is. Like,
I mean, yeah,
is
but
it?
the
If you
the
want
the
to go
the,
to it, more depth.
the message is it's in our nature to relate to each other, um, and it's different levels of relationships. You meet a guy or woman, and then you feel like okay, I don't know if you go out. Say you go out to a club and you meet somebody, and it's like that kind of deal where you just out to get some, and then you get some, and then you end up falling for the person, and then the person treats you like shit. Either way, because I've seen guys, get treated like that, and I've seen women get treated like that. That's the relationship that you
More
have with
so
that person.
women, right?
Don't. It's not Morse code. If a person has sex with you and that's all they want, that's all they want. Don't waste your time trying to follow up behind someone who doesn't care and want you. That's the relationship that you and that person have. Don't try to force relationships. That's the
Right.
point I'm making with your better half or with friends or any of that.
If it's gonna be, it's gonna be.
It's gonna be.
That's the end of the story. Like, it was, we never had like, a breakup in our relationship, but we've had rocky times.
Yeah.
And it's like majority of our rocky times have been like associated with the change. In the beginning, like when we were younger, it never was like a cheating thing. It was just
No,
like,
it's bickering because
bickering.
we weren't used to being in a very small space, one bedroom.
No, studio.
No. When we stayed with my grandfather,
Oh yeah.
we were in a room. That's it, a room together all the time.
Yeah.
And we didn't know how to relate to each other, and that's what I'm saying. When it comes to relationships and love, that's the other thing. It ties into the relationship. Love.
But your whole perspective of love is like different.
It's different.
I feel like love is something that, when one unconditionally loves you, they'll do anything for you.
Mm-hmm.
Whether it's dying, paying the bill, doing whatever. Like,
Mm-hmm.
Whatever the other person wants. Not saying that you're going to be a fool for that person because you love somebody. Somebody who loves you like on both ends would not put you through the pain, through any type of pain. So,
and to piggyback off what she's saying, love, because like she said, I have a different interpretation of that. So love, and neither one of us are right or wrong. It's just a different interpretation. Love is a selfless act, in my opinion. You can't if you make love to someone and you're expecting something back, that's not making love because it's selfless. Like she said, if my son was in the street and a car was coming, I would jump in front of that car and die for my son without any thought. That's love. So when you say you fell in love or you love your car or this, You don't love those things. Love has become a catchword now. You say you love, just like in the movies. If a person says that they love somebody, then they get sex, they get all of these things. And when a guy says he loves the woman, oh my God, she's going crazy, and now she's going to Zales, and everything is going. Oh my God, love. Like I say, it's a catchword. So we need to learn how to love, what love is. And once you don't,
I think we are slowly, not slowly, but we've gotten to that point. Like before, it was like, what is this? Like, are we gonna, do this? Especially when that time came around when we were gonna get married.
Yeah,
I think that took a while because we were together for like 8-9 years before we decided to say, okay, now is the time. And that was the time where he was transitioning from being unconscious to conscious, and he was reading way more stuff, and it was like, okay, the religion came up, which was a big deal for me. And then the raising of our son, the way he ate, the way he wanted, the whole family to eat, even though he's vegetarian. I'm not vegetarian. I eat a lot of vegetables, and it's rare that I eat a lot of meat, but I still do eat meat. It's just something that I don't think everybody's going to change. So.
And that's cool. The thing is though, like just learn how to first love yourself. Learn how to care for yourself. Don't try to please other people. And when you're in a relationship, first relate to yourself. Once you relate to yourself and you know who you are, and the other person.
Can I tag in? And what's crazy is he's saying this, but a lot of it, I didn't grow up with the love of, not the love, but the relationship of, having that mother relationship, that father relationship, any type of adult relationship. So I clung to the ones that was in my life, like my coach, my dance coach. I think that was probably it. Or somebody who was older than me. Like I never had that type of relationship. So it was hard for me to relate to having that relationship that he has with his mother. But as far as like finding yourself and knowing yourself, I'm still going through that phase. I'm not 100% sure, where I stand, and I know I'm going to grow into the woman that I want to become. I'm not there right now, but eventually I will.
And so, like, if you have a situation like she said, if you're not taught that, then you have to dig within. And like the old African adage, it says, "Know thyself." That's where that came from. Know thyself was on the temples in Egypt, still is. So learn how to know yourself, and then you get to meet other people. Because if you don't know you, and you try to introduce somebody to the fake you're gonna fake them out every time and yourself. And then what's gonna happen is the foundation is weak, so it's bound to crumble. So learn how to love yourself and those around you. And is that it?
Yeah, I think that's it.
Okay, now we're gonna end by saying Hotep. That means peace.
Hotep.
In Egypt.
Hotep.
Hotep.
Peace.